And welcome to the Snow Sport Report. And you know what? We did have a major warm-up. Obviously, that doesn't bode well for snow conditions, but most of that was in central and southern lower Michigan. And my fear is always that after we have a nice kind of spring-like feel of that major thaw, we switch gears in our mind and we kind of forget about the snow sports. Don't do that. There's plenty of snow out there, especially in the northern parts of the state, and the ski slopes are looking just fine for this upcoming weekend. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take my family up to Shush Mountain and do some skiing and snowboarding. But you can see, yeah, temperatures, they were quite warm. We flipped that pattern to kind of a spring pattern, and when you see the red, that's where the snow melted just on Wednesday. But keep in mind, we had a record high of 60 on Wednesday in Grand Rapids, but at the same time, Marquette had a record snowfall of 11.6, so quite a contrast across the state. Obviously, central southern lower Michigan really took a hit with those warm temperatures, and you can see still holding on to quite a bit of snow, especially in the northern lower Michigan, and certainly across UP, where some locations, again, anywhere north of M28, consistently around 2 to 4 feet of snow. Quite remarkable up there. So if you're a snowmobiler, obviously I highly recommend jumping across the bridge and taking advantage of that snow. There's still some spots up around East Jordan area, Gaylord, where you can get away with snowmobiling, but the better conditions will be north of the bridge. Otherwise, this weekend, we go back to winter. This area low pressure moving through. It's going to be quite windy on Friday. We'll likely see some wind gusts, especially over southern lower Michigan, over 40 miles an hour. But we'll go into basically rain to a snow mode by the second half of the day. Not much going on in terms of snow on Saturday. Northern parts of the state will get some accumulation, and then everybody on Sunday will see at least some light snow. So yeah, it's back to reality with snow expected and winter returning this weekend. In terms of snow amounts, not a lot, but that's here across lower Michigan. The northern parts of the state, up across UP, they'll likely see around Marquette, westward, the Keweenaw Peninsula, anywhere from, I would say, 10 to as much as 15 inches of snow. And that is concurred with both of the forecast models. So we are back to winter, it looks like, this weekend. Here's a view of Shush Mountain. Look at that sunshine and those corduroy slopes there. That's a good night, if I recall correctly, and Kings Canyon, some of my favorite slopes. Can't wait to hit it. And you can see still holding on to some really good bases out there all across the state. Now, call ahead for Timber Ridge and also Bittersweet, but with that cold air coming back, I think they'll be opening up this weekend. Temperatures for skiers on Saturday, we're looking at mainly in the 30s and some 20s up to the north, and 30s and 20s also on Sunday. So fairly comfortable conditions for not too cold, not too warm out there. And once we get that snow this weekend, it looks like it's going to stick around with temperatures certainly colder right on through next week. We might see it warm up tail end of February and early March, but I've been looking at the forecast models, and some of them, I think, actually bring in some colder temperatures. So, okay, winter returns this weekend, and take advantage of it. Winter's not done yet.